When Adam Schiff begins his questioning, he doesn't start with ideology or politics. He starts with something deceptively simple: performance. That opening question about a performance improvement plan isn't random. It's a way of establishing whether there has ever been a formal concern about the nominee's professional competence.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just have a few questions. Ms. Westerkamp, are you familiar with the term performance improvement plan, sometimes referred to as a PIP?
Yes.
Would you agree that employees subject to a PIP are essentially being notified that some aspect of their performance is unacceptable?
Yes.
Have you ever been subject to a performance improvement plan in your time at the Department of Justice?
No, sir. Senator, I have received excellent ratings.
So there's never been any issue your superiors or supervisors have had that required anything like a performance improvement plan?
No, Senator.
Thank you. Lane, I wanted to ask you about your experience trying cases. Have you ever tried a case to a verdict before a jury?
Senator, I've worked on a bench trial, and as a federal law clerk, I handled 7 trials.
I was a federal law clerk as well. I wouldn't say that I handled the trials. I think the judge handled the trials. But let me ask you about your experience with the bench trial. Were you the lead counsel in that case?
No, Senator, I was part of a small team of attorneys.
And were you the senior or associate counsel on the case?
Yes, Senator, I was an associate on the case. There were 4 attorneys on the case. I was responsible for helping prepare witnesses, helping second chair depositions. I also took a deposition myself. I cross-examined a witness at trial, and I was responsible for all the pretrial and post-trial briefing, findings of facts, conclusions of law.
Of the 4 attorneys, how many were more senior to you on that team?
Senator, I believe 2. There were several people who came in to assist, but again, my responsibilities, I was the primary drafter for all the briefing.
No, I heard that. I just want to understand. So your trial experience consists of being the second or third senior lawyer on a bench trial?
Senator, yes, it was a week-long trial involving complicated constitutional issues, and my role again was I helped draft and prepare all the briefing.
But you've never done jury selection, never done voir dire, for example.
When I was a law clerk, Senator, 5 of the trials before the judge who I clerked for were jury trials, and so I had the opportunity.
I was a law clerk. It was a great experience, but I didn't pick the jury when I was a law clerk. I didn't question the jurors. I didn't seek to use a peremptory or other challenge for cause for a juror. That's really not the role of a law clerk. You observe it, but you don't do it yourself. And so have you, apart from the bench trial, have you cross-examined witnesses in any kind of other jury trial or any jury trial?
Senator, in that case, I cross-examined a lay witness. I also deposed an expert, and I was...
Never before a jury. Have you ever filed or argued a motion to eliminate?
Yes, Senator. I've, in that matter, handled several motions in limine as well as in other matters, particularly at preliminary injunction stage. Some of the litigation I've been involved with has had extensive evidentiary records at the preliminary injunction stage. So I've filed and handled many motions in limine, Senator.
Many motions in limine in that one bench trial?
Yes, Senator. In that one bench trial, I handled several motions in limine, but I've also handled motions in limine in other litigation, again, more at the preliminary injunction stage, seeking to establish a clear record going into a preliminary injunction hearing where there may be live witnesses, evidentiary issues, kind of at that initial stage.
Okay, thank you. I'm not trying to denigrate your experience as a law clerk. I think it's a great experience, and I highly encourage those graduating from law school to pursue clerkships. But having tried cases as an assistant U.S. attorney, it's not the same thing to observe them and to do them yourself. I'm sure you would agree. But thank you. I appreciate it.
Schiff moves into trial experience, and this is where viewers need to really understand what's at stake. Being a federal judge, especially at the trial court level, is not just about knowing the law in theory. It's about managing a courtroom in real time. It's about making split-second decisions on evidence, handling objections, instructing juries, and ensuring that both sides get a fair shot. That kind of responsibility isn't learned from textbooks. It's learned through direct, hands-on experience. So when he asks whether the nominee has ever taken a case to a jury verdict, that's not just a technical question. That's a credibility test.